Let's get right into it.
Number 7. The space music. Back in 1969, the Apollo 10 astronauts swore they heard strange outer space music while orbiting the dark side of the moon. Their headsets filled with this eerie, otherworldly whistling sound that made them all question whether they'd lost it. Was it alien radio, ghost flutes, or some cosmic prank? Nope, NASA later explained it was just radio interference between spacecraft systems. But think about it. You're in the one place where silence should reign supreme, and instead you get an unsolicited alien mixtape. Imagine Spotify on shuffle, but every track is creepy cosmic whale noises. The astronauts admitted they didn't want to tell Mission Control because they didn't want to sound crazy. So yeah, even seasoned astronauts had a moment of, do we admit we're hearing ghost music, or do we just keep quiet and pretend it's fine?
Number 6.
The shadow stalker. Astronauts also report the unsettling feeling that they're not alone. Not in the, oh, cool aliens way. More like the, something standing in the corner of your room watching you breathe way. The phenomenon is often called the third man factor. It's this bizarre psychological glitch where extreme stress, isolation, and sensory deprivation trick your brain into inventing an invisible companion. It's comforting until it isn't. Imagine you're fixing a satellite and you suddenly feel someone tap you on the shoulder, except you're literally the only human for 200 miles in every direction. Creepy doesn't begin to cover it. Psychologists say it's your brain creating a phantom buddy to keep you from losing it. But honestly, if my brain's idea of comfort is to manifest a stalker ghost in zero gravity, I'd like a refund.
Number 5. The floating lights. Picture this. You're floating in a giant tin can, hundreds of miles above Earth, strapped into your space pajamas, when suddenly your brain says, hey buddy, let's spice this up with some hallucinations. Astronauts have reported seeing mysterious flashes of light in their vision, like someone's holding a rave inside their eyeballs. These aren't shooting stars or UFOs, they're cosmic rays, high-energy particles from deep space that blast through your skull and tickle your retina like a mischievous toddler with glow sticks. Your poor nervous system doesn't know what to do, so it interprets this radiation shower as random bursts of light, even when your eyes are closed. Imagine trying to sleep, but your brain insists on running its own EDM concert behind your eyelids. Scientists explained it with physics, high-energy particles smashing through neurons, but let's be honest, it's still creepy. Space itself is basically photobombing your dreams.
Number 4. The creepy glowing plasma. Okay, imagine you're floating peacefully, staring at Earth like it's the world's most expensive screensaver, when suddenly, the entire outside of your spacecraft starts glowing. Not the cozy Christmas light kind of glow, more like haunted microwave about to explode vibes. Astronauts on the space shuttle reported seeing strange glowing clouds of plasma around the ship, especially when it passed through Earth's magnetosphere. Now, scientists will tell you it's just ionized particles reacting with the magnetic field, like a high-tech aurora borealis. Cute explanation. But when you're strapped inside a pressurized tin tube and the outside starts shining like radioactive ghost fog, cute isn't the word that comes to mind. Basically, space said, hey, want a free light show? And the astronaut said, no thanks. We're already terrified.
Number 3. The disembodied voices. Yes, voices. Actual voices. Some astronauts have claimed to hear faint whiskers or phantom sounds while in space. Sometimes it's radio chatter that bleeds through from Earth transmissions, but sometimes it's just there, unexplained. Imagine you're orbiting at 17,000 miles per hour, and out of nowhere, you hear muffled talking in your helmet. Psychologists chalk it up to sensory deprivation, stress, or the human brain's weird ability to invent sounds when things are too quiet. But come on, nothing ruins your outer space confidence faster than hearing a ghostly voice when you're supposed to be utterly alone. Imagine Siri whispering in your ear at 3 a.m., except you never brought your phone. That's the vibe. Number 2. The floating shadow person. This one's the stuff of nightmares. Multiple astronauts have reported catching glimpses of what they describe as shadowy figures, floating just outside the spacecraft. Of course, NASA assures us it's just reflections, or the way light bounces in zero gravity, but put yourself in their space boots. You glance out the window, and boom, there's a dark, vaguely human-shaped figure drifting by. The logical explanation is boring physics. The experience, though? Utterly horrifying. It's like being in a horror movie, but instead of hiding under a blanket, you're locked in a vacuum-sealed death box. No escape. Just you, a billion-dollar piece of metal, and a shadow man who didn't buy a ticket. Number 1. The alien knock. You're floating in orbit, everything's calm, the checklist is done, and then knock knock. Several astronauts, including those on China's Shenzhou missions, have reported hearing mysterious knocking on the outside of their spacecraft. Think about that. You're in the vacuum of space, where sound can't even travel, and something's politely tapping on the door like it's the UPS guy delivering your Amazon package. The astronauts tried to explain it. Maybe it was the hull contracting or space junk bumping against the ship. Sure, that's the rational explanation. But it doesn't make it any less terrifying when you're strapped in a pressurized soda can with no escape route and suddenly it sounds like someone wants to come inside. It's like the world's worst Airbnb guest who refuses to leave, except they might not even be human. At the end of the day, astronauts are basically science gladiators, staring into the void while their brains throw hallucinations, their ship glows like radioactive jello, and invisible hands start knocking on the door. And yet, they just keep going. Honestly, braver than the rest of us. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.